Hi everyone, my name is Mimi and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be reacting to what seems to be the final episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3. Which one? Oh, um, the Sendai Colony. Last episode was Megumi versus Reggie. He activated his domain expansion. I was hoping that he was going to be able to complete it during that episode, but no, it's still incomplete. But he was able to defeat Reggie, and before Reggie died, he gave him his points and gave him some kind of ominous standoff, I guess, whatever words at the end there. Um, Megumi was gonna kill Remy, but then he heard the voice of his sister and then he let her live and he walked away and then fell, was bleeding out, and then there goes Angel floating right above him. And I'm like, who? Because they'll be looking for Angel, He's the one that's gonna help them with Gojo. So and then they went to the Sendai colony where they showed us these sorcerers, I guess, that were there, and there was this stalemate. Well, that's the word, right? Stalemate. And guess who shows up there? Killing one of them and breaking the stalemate. Stop. And I'm excited. So, before we get into this episode, if you guys like my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/philomini. And now let's start this episode. And here we go.
Okay, guys, in case the reaction gets blocked and I had to cut out the reaction itself, you can just look in the pinned comment in the comment section where for the link to the reaction highlight itself, so you can just click on it, watch it, and then you just come back for my review. 物資の有限の以上コロニーの出入りを可能にするルールを追加しなければならない。千に2度も親友を殺させない。
Oh.
着は僕が殺す。僕一人で400点取る。出てきて大丈夫ですよ。このまま北上して結界のヘリを目指しましょう。
Well, am I worried that Yuta's gonna die? Trying to keep the bugs away from the people. Oh yeah, did they say about it's one being a cursed spirit and that he's waiting for some kind of condition to do something or other? People, I'm worried. Oh no, the way I'm worried for Yuta. Iron, what? Like iron in the blood? Woo! I don't think that was a good. They trying to blind him. Can you leave my boy alone? I'm already worried enough. So they're working together? Damn, the animation, people. Woo! Like a great amount of curse energy. Or does it not? Oh. He wore the ring. He wore the ring.
指輪を通してリカと接続するとその間のみ術式の使用リカの完全権限リカからの接続持続可能時間は5分行こうかすごくジャムと牙動けない
Oh, it hurts her. Yeah, don't do that to Rika. He doesn't like it. She loves him, How are you gonna make him Make her hit him. How much time do you have left? You tell. I know you're not dead. How am I supposed to read up? Now I'm back to being worried. Was that his technique? Oh, okay. Okay, so he didn't copy it. 'Cause I'm like, he's still, not defeated or whatever. Now I'm worried. Okay, he's the only person, I guess, in the domain. What is Kenjaku's plan? Is that gonna activate the bomb?
甘すぎだ、乙骨。ウロさんも言ってましたよ。生きてたのか、あいつ。ポイントください。なるほどね。お前来れなかったら、俺たち殺してたろ。
Okay.
僕の仲間に感謝してください。限界が来るのはお前の方だ。
Wait, was that Yuji with Takaba? I just saw Takaba and Yuji running together, right? Angel had Megumi. Um, Sukuna was on his throne. They showed these other two sorcerers or something or other in some kind of cabin thingy. Uh, and what was Uro telling Yuta about him being the limit? When I read that, I thought it was about. Okay, there's nothing. I think okay. When I heard that, I thought she was talking about their bloodline. I guess that's what I thought. But mm, first off, let me. I need to go back and look at something. Finally found it. The Sun, Moon, and Stars squad was the Fujiwara clan's personal squad of assassins. We lived in darkness and served with selfless devotion. We were even forbidden from having our own names. Yet that man once granted me a name so he could execute me instead for his crime of slaying his own kin. Yet that man once granted me a name so he could execute me instead for his crime of slaying his own kin. So Yuta is a descendant of the Fujiwara clan. Um and she has a grudge against that clan. And apparently, from what I'm reading from this, she was part of this assassin squad where they didn't have names, but then whoever it was, clearly that person was a Fujiwara. That person gave her a name and then framed her for the killing of his own people when he was the one that did it. And she's been holding a grudge since then, I guess. Well, how am I supposed to read 9 lines? No, or six. Either way. In a space of how many seconds? It's not possible. You have to go back and pause it and read it. Because, like, the freak. And then, let me go back to the end there. Who is this person? Wait, why does this person's hair look like Kinji's hair. Oh, wait a second. This guy has blue hair. Wasn't that the person that was after Sukuna? What was his name again? The one that created the rule about knowing people's information. Um, Hajime Kashimo. So it's them two. So he found him clearly. So this is Hajime Kashimo, and this is clearly Kinji. Okay. But then that guy also has the colored hair. Or am I missing something? Are they different people? What is this one? Seems like this person also has the same kind of colored hair that the person. Or is it Hajime Kashimo? Or did Hajime Kashimo have green hair? This feels more bluish, and then that one feels more greenish. Oh, wait, that girl right there, is that the what was her name again? I'm forgetting. From the Tokyo school? No, from the Kyoto school that was close to Mikamaru. Is that her right there? Or somebody else? Ah, Angel has Megumi. You're the one who will reach their limit. You're the one who has finished the social occur spirit. Those who surpass the bounds of being strong all have overwhelming ego. They don't concern themselves with other things, their calamities. Yeah, there goes Yuji and Takaba. How did you guys come together? Well, they are in the same colony, so the probability of them meeting is high. What the heck? This episode, I said it during the my reaction that this was high octane from the very beginning till the end. It was just like straight off fighting, and I couldn't help but remember what my brother said about not liking Jujutsu Kaisen like other people do because it's more about story. Like he likes fight scenes, but it feels like to him it feels like this show is mostly fighting. Like it's like sort of like 90% fighting and 10% story, which he doesn't like, you know. And as I was watching this episode, I can kind of see what he's talking about because this episode was all fighting. It brought nothing to the overall like story or the underlying story. Like there was nothing about story in here. It was just fighting these sorcerers and without winning. And that's it, you know? And then at the end there you see these snippets of these people together and that's basically it. So I understood what he's talking about. But I like the fighting, you know? But I feel like I'm now leaning more toward what he was saying. Even though the fighting in this episode was like, ugh, amazing. It's like, what is Kenjaku's plan? Can I know more about that? Can I know more about um um Yuji's backstory? Like how he came to be so strong. I know he has some kind of like link to Kenjaku and other things, but it's just like now I'm feeling the frustration of my brother. I'm feeling the frustration because it's like okay, you have these clans, these bloodlines that have these story behind them that I know nothing about. Like this episode, you know that I'm sure they told us before, but I forgot whose bloodline Yuta is from, you know? And I'm sure Gojo mentioned it at one point, or we learned a little bit about that maybe during the movie. I don't know, but there was something told about Yuji, not Yuji, Yuta, Yuta's backstory. But even if they did say something. I don't think they went that deep into it. So it's like, okay, clearly, were you to focus on, let's say this was Yuta's story, this show is Yuta's story. It was just focused on him. And we are supposed to be learning about him and his story and how he has these enemies that he doesn't know anything about. And as the show is progressing, you get to learn more about him and all of that, you know. So it's like there are all these amazing characters, these powerful characters in this show that come from these amazing bloodlines and that some people fear, some people revere, and but then you know nothing about their story, and it's like it's not constant fighting, but yeah, the majority of the show is fighting. So you have all these things, but then you barely dive into the backstory of these people or into the main storyline, I guess. I don't know. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Okay, Kenjaku has been up to whatever his plan is, created these colonies and all of that. And then you have Reggie that's saying, okay, there's another goal behind this that's, I'm guessing, different than what Tengen told the others. Or maybe Tengen doesn't know, but I feel like Tengen is someone that's pretty knowledgeable. So I will feel like she will know what Kenjaku's main goal is or whatever, and it's just hiding it. So it's like I don't know. I want more info. I want more info. As much as I loved the fighting in this episode, and I was worried for Yuta at points, I'm glad that I want to know more, basically, about what is actually happening in this show, like the main story. But the Sukun, I think Jaku has a plan. Sukuna has a plan that we know nothing about, too. Yuji's backstory, we barely scratched the story with him, and we're on in the third season, you know? So it's like, why are you out? Okay, so I want to know more of the backstory, more of the storyline. Like I want that to progress more, so I understand what is the show is about. I guess whatever. The fighting was, like I said, amazing. You had the way they started is with the music felt somber. The way um Yuta was speaking about how he doesn't want Gojo to kill his friend again, and that he was gonna have to be the one to kill Kenjaku. I was He said that, and then I feel like this ominous music started playing or something or other, and then I started feeling worried. Like, okay, you want to be the one to kill Kenjaku, and then this ominous music is playing. So I'm like, wait, is Yuta gonna die? You know? And then he started fighting this. What's his name again? Kurourushi with the bugs, and then the things growing out of him, and it's like, ah. And as he was fighting Kurourushi, he was like, okay, I'm being watched, and I don't want these people to know that I can use reverse technique. But there came a point where he had to use it, and once he used it to defeat Kurourushi, that's when the girl Uro just like started attacking, you know, and her technique is about manipulating the sky. Okay, and they started fighting, and he was asking her questions, and she was getting pissed off by him, and it was the way, I'm guessing, the way he was speaking to her or whatever. That's when it sort of like dawned on her that he was a descendant of the Fujiwara, and her hatred increased for him. But then as they were fighting, there goes Ishigori also jumping in there, and it became a 3-on-3. And it was like, Ishi- Yuichi, Yuichi. I feel like the fact that they both have their names start with U is easy for me to like mix both of their names. Yuta was like, wait, I need to finish this Ishigori off, you know. And so he left her behind and went after Ishigori. But then she also decided to join in, and it became a 3-on-3. And then there came a point where it's like both of all three of them dominate spin. I was like, what? But that didn't go anywhere because Kurourushi was not dead. Came back and with this insect that was just like crawled into the space, and it just like broke, and he was defeated too. Again, I should say, he was defeated again. Um, uh, they were fighting and fighting, right? So Yuta's curse energy was depleting, and I'm like, wait, didn't he say when he was fighting Yuji that when he was comparing both of their curse energy, he said that his curse energy was sort of like exponential or whatever. Like he had a huge amount of it. So when Ishigori was like, "You're being depleted," and then you see him, yeah, like breathing hard, like it did seem like his curse energy was depleting really fast. Like he was tired. But then he put on the ring, and I'm like, whoa! And Rika showed up, and then he's like, "Give me this," and he put it on his hand, his arm, or whatever. And it was like, okay, let's go after these people. And he had 5 minutes to do this. And they defeated, when they were fighting, Uro made it in such a way that Rika hit Yuta, and she was pissed off, and she went after Uro. And then at some point in the fighting, he ate her arm. I'm like, I feel like that was the moment where they got her technique. That Yuta was able to copy her technique. I feel like I may be wrong, but that's what it seemed like to me. Especially when you remember when we see, I think it was Ishigori that was sort of like playing that in his mind when he used her technique against him. That he was like, wait, when did that happen? And then they showed that scene of the arm being cut off and in and whatnot. So I'm assuming that's where he copied the technique, you know. And it was just them two left at the end there, and then they were fighting. Then again was saying something about when they were about to do their final attack. She was saying something about um Ishigori having like his output, maximum output was gonna be stronger than Yuta, and that Yuta's plan was to do his thing faster than Ishigori can reach his maximum output. But then he saw the look in, I guess, Ishigori's eyes or face or whatever, and then he changed his mind. And I'm like, okay, changed his mind. Like, how? Was he not about like? I didn't get that part. He's changed his mind, so he's not gonna fight him. He still fought him, and he still defeated him. So, or is it that when he said that he changed his mind about defeating him pretty quickly and was just gonna let Ishigori enjoy the fight, the dessert, even more, and then defeat him? Is that what she meant by that? I don't know. But either way, he did defeat Ishigori, but then he healed him, and apparently he healed Uro also. And the reason why he did that is because he wanted their points, but I don't think it's part of it, but that's not the whole of it. because he told Ishigori to thank his friends or something or other. Because I feel like if he didn't have friends, his friends that gave him his humanity, and whatnot, he would have killed them. Because he was saying that they needed to add there were 4 rules that they wanted to add. Among the 4 rules, I don't remember all 4 of them. Well, the giving of the points is one of them, of course. But among the 4 rules, the one that he mentioned is the one that where you can leave the colony because your supplies are running out or whatever. So you should have a rule where you can leave the colony and come back or something or other. And then something about being able to communicate between the colonies, some kind of rule like that as well. But then he was saying that before he could add those kind of rules, he needs to defeat or kill those kind of sorcerers that wouldn't mind killing innocent people, you know. So you would think that because of that he would kill these people, because I don't think they care about human lives like that. I don't know. Whatever. Is there anything else? I got so super excited when he used Inumaki's technique after he put on the ring and Rika showed up and then he opened his mouth. Cool. So cool. Well, what else? Yeah, it was all fighting, so there's really not much to talk about. Like I said, I want more of the backstory. I feel like there should be a better balance between the two, story and fighting. You know. Oh, let's see. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Oh, this is the last episode. You know what? Let me see when the next season's gonna be up. Next installment of the anime, officially confirmed as Jujutsu Kaisen Season 4, adapting the Culling Game Part 2, does not have an official release date yet. Okay, so we don't know yet. I believe Dr. Stone is already out, so because I was like, there was a short that I started playing, and they were in the short, they were like, Magma was like beat Senku at math or something or other, and I'm like, huh, I don't remember having seen anything of that, like of that nature. And I clicked on it, and the scene that we're playing were something that I've not seen at all. So I just stopped it, and I'm like, wait, is a new season out of Dr. Stone? Let me double check that. Because if it's out, then that's gonna be what's gonna be replacing Jujutsu Kaisen. Let me see, Dr. Stone. Yep. Okay. So the last episode of Dr. Stone that I saw was episode 24. And there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay. They've been back for a while now. But there's like 7 episodes already up. So yeah, Dr. Stone is gonna be replacing Jujutsu Kaisen for now. And if you want to see my reaction to episode 25, right? Yeah, episode 25. The link is going to be in the pinned comments. So you can just click on it and you can watch it right now. And yeah, you can also catch up with my previous Jujutsu Kaisen reactions. There's a playlist in the comment as well. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. I keep on lying to, already pulling me in, already under my skin, and I know exactly how.